big win for those who've been fighting for decades against the fluoridation of water supplies and fluoride in the toothpaste and all these types of things. Look what we've got here. A fluoride lawsuit update from fluoridealert.org. Well, there's more. There's a link in the description about this. This is great news. I'm very excited about this. I put down that it's declared a neurotoxin on the screen there. I'm not sure. We're going to read the article and let's find out exactly what they have to say about it. This is a preliminary press release that they have. And let's see if I can scroll smoothly here. I'll zoom that in bigger so you can read it. History has been made after 7 years of pursuing legal action against the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, over the risk posed to the developing brain by the practice of water fluoridation. The United States District Court of the Northern District of California has just ruled on behalf of the Fluoride Action Network and the plaintiffs in our precedent-setting court case. A U.S. federal court has now deemed fluoridation an unreasonable risk to the health of children, and the EPA will be forced to regulate it as such. The decision is written very strongly in our favor, and we will share it in its entirety tomorrow. Below is an excerpt from the introduction of the ruling. The issue before this court is whether the plaintiffs have established by a preponderance of evidence that the fluoridation of drinking waters at levels typical in the United States poses an unreasonable risk of injury to health of the public within the meaning of the amended TSCA. I think the T stands for toxicity. For the reasons set forth below, the court so finds. Specifically, the court finds that fluoridation of the water at 0.7 milligrams per liter, the level presently considered optimal in the United States, poses an unreasonable risk of reduced IQ in children. The court finds that there is an unreasonable risk of such injury, a risk sufficient to require the EPA to engage with a regulatory response. One thing the EPA cannot do, however, in the face of this court's finding, is to ignore that risk. In this moment, I want to recognize Attorney Michael Connett for pursuing this case and leading the effort every step of the way. He's a true superhero to all of us here at Fluoride Action Network. Many other amazing team members were also involved in making this a reality and deserve a great appreciation and thanks, including our co-plaintiffs and all of you who donated and spread the word about our case. Take a moment to celebrate this momentous occasion tonight, wherever you are. After 7 years, we all deserve it. Please stay tuned as we will provide further comprehensive details in a press release and bulletin tomorrow. Sincerely, Stuart Cooper, Executive Director of the Fluoride Action Network. And they have a link there for supporting their work. This is very important news. As we are learning that there are more toxicity driven things in our daily diets I've been a part of Forgiveness Capital's work to assist with Dr. Garrett Smith of the Nutrition Detective broadcast, nutritiondetective.com. He's Nutrition Detective on YouTube. And I've been learning a great deal about the toxicity of vitamin A, that it appears it should have never been listed as a vitamin, and that in all cases it is toxic. This needs to be proven, but we have a preponderance of evidence that it appears in the abstracts shown in medical studies that Dr. Smith is able to interpret and communicate. And he's done this on over 150 episodes of his live stream. I think 165 episodes was today's number. So we're on the cusp of this. What we're finding is that humanity has been maimed, impeded. They've kept us sick, injured. We're scrambling to take care of those around us who have fallen from illness, and it's a huge drain on the resources of humanity, not only of our time but our economic resources. And there's there happens to be a medical industry that profits from our injury, and it's just sad. It's really a sad thing in this world. And then there are dentists who profit from giving people treatments of fluoride, and causing their patients problems with their IQ. And who's to say these changes can be subtle? But I worked out in Silicon Valley. I've met some very, very sharp minds that have been somehow unaffected. And I just feel cheated when I think about in my youth going to the water bubbler in the public school of Milwaukee and guzzling that water. I had an abnormal desire for thirst, and if the water there was fluoridated, and I'm pretty sure it was, I would have suffered some impact in that. And that might explain why my memory was so bad in my 30s. I'm 58 years now, and I feel like I'm teetering on, on memory failure at times. But thanks to Dr. Smith and his prescription for avoiding toxins like vitamin A, copper, sulfur, let's see, other toxins. Fluoride is one to avoid, right? He talks about choosing organic foods. Anyway, I've known of his work for the last year and a half, and I applaud his work. You can find some links to some of his shows up here on health.forgivenesscapital.com. I've got a page called Dr. Smith, and there I've been keeping some of the notes from his broadcasts recently, screenshots of highlighted excerpts from the shows and links to the shows themselves. I think probably the best way to get to his shows is from YouTube. I wonder if I have that typed in here somewhere. I can put it in the chat. Your sound is great today. Your message is your message today is urgently needed. Thank you so much, D. Good Sight. Yeah, I read something somewhere. They said if there's some trending news story, you should get on it. And if it's important to you, if you know something about it, talk about it. And then voila, here's the biggest story of my lifetime. I mean, I think, well, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that it is. I think back to my days in high school, or just out of high school, and I was involved with I got a new microphone. I do. I'll show you the new mic. It's right here, a Samson. Well, it's a used mic, but I appreciate that. I was using a webcam before, which used to be really good. Then it died, and I bought a replacement. And the replacement Logitech, though it's the same model, didn't work quite as well. So what else can we say about all of this? Yes, back in my youth, I remember there was a woman, Virginia Mavis, and she was part of the Wisconsin Report. And it was a newspaper that she had. I remember going to her house once, an elderly woman at the time, and she was telling me all this stuff about fluoridation of the water and other civil liberty issues. I don't know if we call them civil liberty, maybe like freedoms, that type of thing, encroachments on our freedom. A strong proponent back then of people's right to homeschool their children. I think Marv Munyon, he might still be fighting legislative battles on the Christian front in Wisconsin. I don't know. I have heard of his name, that he was kind of doing some of this stuff recently. But we're talking about, 40 years back? And she was telling me about the fluoridation in the water. This was not good, to avoid it. And then I remember her meeting my parents and talking with them. And then she talked about how she thought Ronald Reagan, the former president of the United States, that she thought he was a clone after the assassination attempt. And then my parents just told me not to listen to her. And this brings up censorship, right? My parents were trying to censor my access to information, even at that point. And what does that really say about our society? There seems to be a built-in function of trying to censor information that goes against our mainstream beliefs. I want to share with you tonight my experience in going to AI. I wanted to have AI write up, a news story for me to read to you, and I wanted it to prepare a graphic that made the bold assertion and claim that the EPA lost this court case against where the Fluoride Action Network prevailed against the EPA. And It wouldn't do it. It wouldn't do it. It thought it was misinformation. It was like, I can't find any reliable sources on this. Um, Reliable sources, schmorses. There was another instance of this. Um, well, there were two different models at OpenAI that I used to try and determine all of this. Let's see. I went to Perplexity. They gave me something. I can read this to you. Let's see. Is there a way I can make this? I can view this differently. Oh, perfect. I like that a lot. That's going to look great on the screen. Here we go. All right. Let's see. I'll give you my corrections of this as I go. I haven't read it before, so this is what they call a hot read or something. The Fluoride Action Network (FAN) has claimed a significant victory in their legal battle against the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, regarding the classification of fluoride as a toxic compound. This lawsuit, filed in California court, aimed to force the EPA to reevaluate its stance on fluoride safety in drinking water. The legal battle. FAN's lawsuit centered around the potential neurotoxic effects of fluoride, particularly its impact on children's cognitive development. The organization argued that recent studies have shown a correlation between fluoride exposure and lower IQ scores in children. And here's two studies. One of them is from hsph.harvard, hsph.harvard, impact of fluoride on neurological development in children, from 2012. It starts out reading, for years, health experts have been unable to agree on whether fluoride in the drinking water may be toxic to the developing human brain. And here's another one from AP News. Fluoride at twice the recommended limit linked to lower IQs in kids. U.S. government report concludes that fluoride in drinking water at twice the recommended limit is linked with lower IQs in children. Continuing on, this argument was bolstered by a meta-analysis conducted by researchers from Harvard School of Public Health and China Medical University, which found that children in high fluoride areas had significantly lower IQ scores than those living in low fluoride areas. Looks like the same reference. Challenging dental health benefits. While fluoride has long been touted for its dental health benefits, some studies from the UK have questioned its effectiveness. A study published in the British Dental Journal found that water fluoridation had no significant impact on reducing tooth decay in children. And there you go. There's a link to it. Looks like a July 18th study. This finding challenges the long-held belief that fluoridation is a crucial public health measure for dental health. Fluoride has a neurotoxin. The comparison between fluoride and lead is particularly striking. Both compounds have been linked to cognitive impairment in children. A U.S. government report concluded that fluoride levels at twice the recommended limit in drinking water are associated with lower IQ scores in children. This finding echoes concerns about lead exposure, which has long been recognized as a neurotoxin affecting cognitive development. Implications for public health policy. The outcome of this lawsuit could have far reaching implications for public health policy in the United States. If fluoride is officially classified as a toxic compound, it could lead to significant changes in water treatment practices across the country. Many municipalities may need to reevaluate their fluoridation programs, potentially leading to widespread removal of fluoride from public water supplies. Ongoing debate. Despite these developments, the debate over fluoride's safety and efficacy continues. While some studies suggest potential risks, others maintain the benefits of fluoride in preventing tooth decay outweigh the potential risks at current recommended levels. The scientific community remains divided, with calls for more comprehensive long term studies to definitely assess fluoride's impact on human health. As this study continues, as this story continues to unfold, it highlights the complex interplay between scientific research, public health policy, and legal action. The fluoride debate serves as a reminder of the ongoing need for rigorous scientific inquiry and careful consideration of public health measures. Well, that's all I've got for tonight, I think, on this matter. Tomorrow, this is going to be buzzing. It's going to be everywhere. I know the conscious resistance. Derek Bruce, I believe is his name, Bros, has been all over this story leading up to when the final arguments were made, perhaps 7 months ago. And he's an investigative reporter. I encourage you to look up his information on that, whatever it is. But it's late. I need to go to bed. And let's see, we do have no other chats in here. If you would, please share this message. Share it out. This is one of those ones that needs to be shared widely because there is the tendency to, on this particular kind of topic, it's a health issue. It goes against what the controllers would want you to know and believe, and so hopefully this isn't counter controlled opposition type of thing. I don't think it is. I think this is a legitimate court case that went up. I think it said 7 years it's been going on. And, my hat's off to the people who brought this case. I think a woman in Wisconsin was the plaintiff, and then the Fluoride Action Network was assisting her in this matter. I'm trying to remember. Lavelle, I think her name is Lavelle. Anyway, I'm still hoping to meet her. I'm here in Wisconsin, so I could do an interview, and would be happy to do that if possible. In fact, it would be a great idea. This is Joe Baker's Remedy Report, a show about bringing harmony to the world through economic innovations, health tips, and increased awareness. You can learn more at forgivenesscapital.com. This is Joe Baker, wishing you a good night and a great tomorrow. Now, end stream. There we go.